101.
Hi race fans, welcome to a special segment of Road to Indy 101. I'm Dalton Kellett, your host. We're here in the Juncos Indy Lights trailer with a very special guest, Drew Feustel, recently commander of the ISS on Expedition 56 in 2018. Today we're going to take a look at the driver safety gear, racing gear, and talk about how that compares and contrasts with all the special kit that Drew uses for spaceflight and rocket launches. So we'll start from the head down. So we've got my helmet here.
Yep.
So first of all, it's painted. It looks a little different than yours.
I like the color.
Yeah.
Nice livery.
Yeah. So are you guys allowed to do custom paint jobs or anything? Or?
You know, we can do custom paint job on the helmets that we use to fly T-38 jets, which we use for training, for astronaut training and flight training, but we can't actually paint the helmets that we use for space flight. Right. Most of the helmets that we have are integrated into the suits, and they're quite different than these. They're not actually designed with all the padding that you have. We have a comm system, obviously, but they don't have the protective features that yours do. And I think for the next generation spacecraft that SpaceX and Boeing are building, and some of the other folks, hopefully they'll build, I think they should build some more crash test capability and protective capability into the helmets themselves, because we don't have that right now.
So when you're getting launched into space, is it rattling around quite a bit? Do you like come into contact with the side of the suit and everything?
You can. The Russian Soyuz suit has a helmet that's built into the suit, but it's not really a helmet. It's sort of a visor that comes over our head.
Okay.
And that thing, you know, there's really no padding at all. Yeah. And I noticed on landing, which is quite a violent ride on the Soyuz, it's that my head was banging around a lot. So much so that I wasn't sure that I didn't receive a concussion on the way home. So I thought to myself, you know, they really should make these helmets a little more like a race helmet.
So some cool features that we have in the race helmet. Obviously we have a much smaller eye port than you guys, closable visor. We can crack this a little bit to get some airflow, and we have vents on top that pull in air for the outside defog a little bit. You have tear-offs on your visor to pull off. You get oil.
We don't have any of that stuff. Yeah. I guess you guys don't need to see much except what's in front of you.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not really looking around too much.
Yeah, we're just
right?
the opposite. When we're in a spaceship, it's like we have all these gauges and dials all over the place, and so we need a pretty wide, broad field of view. We can't move our helmets. We can just move our head inside our helmets.
So moving down, the next thing we have the Hans device here, which is it's the head and neck restraint system designed about 20 years ago. These have saved a lot of drivers' lives. The Hans get cinched down by the shoulder belts, and in the event of a frontal impact, the helmet can only move so far. Then the load is transferred to your chest, so you reduce the possibility of skull fractures.
Yeah, we don't have that.
No?
They just strap us down. Yeah, it'd be a nice feature though.
So next thing we've got the race suit. So it's a 3-layer Nomex. Mine's made by Sparco, but there's many manufacturers.
So it's fireproof.
Yeah, fire retardant.
Fire retardant,
is
yeah.
the word.
Hard to catch it on fire.
No, you
probably couldn't light it on fire with a Bic lighter.
No, you couldn't. This suit plus the undergarments affords us about 8 to 12 seconds of time to egress from the car in the event of a big fire.
Right.
So it's really not a lot of time. Now, do you guys have something similar with your suits?
I think they're fire retardant, but they're not really built to protect us from flames. So the methodology we use is that if there's a fire, what we do is try to evacuate the oxygen in the cabin and put the fire out.
Moving on from that, again, talking about what you have to interact with your hands. You guys have a lot of switches, toggles, dials you have to play with.
You don't have hardly any.
No, we have a steering wheel with buttons, but not nearly
Look at how
as
easy
many.
your glove is to work. Yeah,
exactly.
Look at that. So for us, wearing a glove like this would, we just wouldn't. This would be like our underglove.
Right.
And for spacewalks, for example, we go outside, it's pretty much equivalent to wearing this and like a welder's glove on top of it, and then still happen to use, fine motor skills and dexterity to deal with nuts and bolts out in space. The challenge is we try not to lose things in space, because that orbital debris creates problems for us and come back and hit the spacecraft. So you're wearing these bulky gloves, but you're dealing with these tiny little objects sometimes, and that's sort of those two things don't really go together too well,
All the way down to the bottom here, we've got our boots.
Yep.
It's a leather with a Nomex interior and a rubber sole. You can feel it's quite stiff.
It's a nice tennis shoe.
Yeah.
Can I get a pair of these? Wear them around the house?
I'm sure Sparkle would be happy to send you a pair.
Yeah.
And then the rubber sole is really just for kind of walking around and all that. Gives us a nice grip on the face of the pedal. We actually put some skateboard grip tape on the face of the pedal for the brake. because you're applying so much pressure. It's probably about 110, 130 pounds you apply with your leg to get up to 2,400 PSI in the brake system, and you don't want to be slipping off that pedal. Last thing that we've got here are the earbuds that I wear. So these are molded to my ears. They put a little plug in there and inject a polymer mold and then make a female mold, and
They squirt that stuff in your ear.
right in your ear. Yeah, it goes right in the canal.
I had that too.
Do you guys have similar?
So we make those, but only for like our headphones for listening to music.
Oh, okay.
When we launch in space, we're essentially wearing headphones that are built into the helmets.
Right.
For us, in all the suits that I've worn to date, the headset, the comm cap, is a separate piece from the helmet. So
Okay.
put the comm cap on, strap it on. That's true in our launch suits and our spacewalk suits, and then the helmet goes on over that, so it's like a separate component.
So switching gears a bit, we kind of touched on it briefly about the physical side of racing and then space flight. So maybe walk us through a little bit what you guys do to prepare before launch.
Well, training can last anywhere from a year and a half to about 3 years for any mission. And mostly what we do is technical training. We don't spend a lot of time preparing for the launch itself, which is very physical, or can be, because in that, really, that has a pretty big technical component for us as well, learning how to fly the spacecraft and respond to any emergencies during the launch phase. So that's most of our time is spent learning to fly that spaceship and then preparing for the experiments or research that we're going to do on the space station once we get there, and then any repairs that we might do outside of the spacecraft when we're doing our EVAs or spacewalks.
I did a lot of simulator training where we have basically take an old race car, take the chassis, put a wraparound 3 projector screen, make a full motion simulator.
Simulators are a key part of what we do as well. The graphics are a little different. We see space stations and Earth coming and all that stuff, and you guys see tracks and other drivers.
And then, so in the training that we do, we've actually started doing neurological training where we'll do a really intense cardio workout, and then during the recovery period, go to a reaction training device where we're trying to get better at
like cognitive and physical sort of combined together.
Yeah, so we're tired, but then we're stressing our mental systems and visual systems. Well, that's about all the questions I have. Is there anything else that you want to know about my kit or the race car?
No, it's
like
pretty fascinating stuff. It's great to see the technology here and sort of compare it to the world that we both live in. We like to go fast. We like to have unique opportunities, and I think it's great to see the marriage between aerospace and racing. And I think it's always been there. It's great to talk about it too. So thanks for sharing your stories.
Awesome. Well, I hope that was really informative for you guys. I know I learned a lot about spaceflight, things that I didn't know before. Thank you very much for coming here to talk to us, Drew, and hope we'll see you at the next race.
Look forward to it.
Thank you.
Good luck this weekend.
Thanks.
Go fast.